Joined live in studio by Marist football redshirt sophomore linebacker James Kratochvil. James, you're a linebacker now. You're a star linebacker. But when you entered camp for the first time, you entered college, you were just 180 pounds. According to your From the Foxes piece on center field, people were saying you were a safety, you were even a kicker, a wide receiver, and you had to deal with all of that, had to deal with a lot off the field. You turned to God with little religious experience. What led you to that decision?
Yeah, so in high school I was actually beginning in my faith. Took the first step, with just somebody who came up to me in class and started talking to me about God. And just from there, kind of like snowball effect, like started to go out of my comfort zone a little bit, go to church more often, go on my own. And then once I got to college, you're on your own. So, don't have parents, you're in a kind of an unfamiliar place. And I just wanted to find that comfort and somewhere where I could go where I felt like I was at home. Obviously at school, there's the church on campus, and then which eventually led me to FCA, and which is where I really found like my comfort in my home was at FCA.
Well, you talk about FCA. Now you're a leader in it, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Tell me a little bit about the club first before your leadership aspect.
Yeah, basically we kind of have these meetings every once a week. We talk about God, we talk about Scripture. We try to make it as much as a conversation as possible, and that's one thing that was appealing to me. It's a little different from going to church where somebody's really speaking to you the whole time, and there's not so much conversing, talking, all that kind of good stuff. Whereas we go to FCA, and it's a lot more relatable, people sharing experience and different opinions, and it's just a totally more fun, different experience than some other things that I did.
Two leaders of that club, yourself and Michaela Kiefer from volleyball. What does the leadership aspect of that role entail?
So basically we are the huddle leaders. So we kind of just run the meetings. We basically have to show up with a plan and a structure. And ultimately we're kind of like held to that higher standard of, we have to sign some agreements. We have to sign some stuff that basically say we're not going to be hypocritical of what we're preaching. So we actually have to practice and live out what we preach. So that way it's authentic and very genuine to the people who are listening, and they're not being led astray. And, we want to be good examples for everybody. So basically we're put in a position where we want to be good examples for all the people who come to FCA, and we just want to lead them in the best way possible.
You were in a good position when you transitioned to the later spring ball that first year. New coaching staff came in. You thought you were going to get that opportunity, and you didn't right away. But you stuck with it, knowing God was by your side. How did that come about? You just had all that faith in God through really 1 year and a little bit of high school?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did take some big steps. Like I said, like going into college, like you're really on your own. So I had to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and within that short amount of time, really just took a big step in my faith. Started reading the Bible every day, started praying more often, and that ultimately led me to just trusting in God. And I kept hearing from other people, kept hearing from sources online, and just reading in the Bible constantly that although things may not be going your way in this moment, like if it's not okay, then it's not the end. And I just wanted to live by that. And live by the fact that God has me, and I'm living according to His plan. And as long as I just keep doing what I'm doing, just keep my head down and just grind for as long as I can, ultimately I'm going to get rewarded, and I'm going to be put in a position where I can have a good opportunity.
Well, you were put in quite the position for Family Day weekend last year. Told a buddy beforehand, hey, I'm going to do something special this game. I'm going to change this game in some way, shape, or form. 5 minutes in, you guys are down 7-0. You get your first career interception. Take me through that moment.
Yeah, that was amazing. It was really cool because in practice, that was something that we had gone over, countless number of times where we're constantly repping, just looking at the QB vision, just seeing where he's reading, where he's going to go with the ball. And I just had a good feel for the play. I got some depth, read the QB's eyes, and just ultimately right position, right time. But it's in a game of football, it's all 11 guys doing the same thing, or not doing the same thing, but doing their job. And, we got a good pass rush, we got some good pressure, and everybody else was covering their guys. So ultimately he chose, to try to put it in a tight window, and I was just in the right place at the right time. And, like you said, I did tell my buddy that I was going to do something special. So that really meant a lot to me because I just had the confidence that, going into the game that I was going to make an impact, and that was like the biggest thing that I could have done. So that was really cool.
11 guys all in the right position. You had 6,500 plus in attendance, a Tenney Stadium record. What did the crowd aspect add to that wonderful moment for you?
It was just so amazing. Obviously I wish I took it back a little further. It's been a long time since I was on the offense and, my running back days, but Once I got up from the tackle and got up in the crowd, saw my whole team just erupt with, excitement and everybody running out from the sideline to give me a high five, to jump in the air. Just like, it was just an unbelievable feeling and something that you can only get from so many things. And football is one of those things where, the crowd is just as big as everybody else in the team. And it's almost like, the 12th man, if you will.
An unbelievable feeling. Well, James, you got a great story, a religious aspect, and a real good player on the field. Multiple awards. We couldn't even get to it, but that's all the time that we have. We'll throw it back to the desk.